So, the Titanfall beta has finally come and gone. I had a lot of fun with it, but like any game, there were times when it just wasn't as much fun. And part of this, of course, was just expectations. You know, it was impossible for it to completely live up to the hype that it had. But I do think that there are some legitimate concerns for Titanfall. To start things out, I'd like to revisit the concerns I mentioned in my first impressions video. And as far as pistols go, I think I'm actually okay with the way that they work in this game. I guess I just had a couple bad experiences early on that made me think the pistols were a little bit too strong. But after using them more myself and just having more game time overall, I think I've come to realize that the secondaries are pretty well balanced. Unfortunately, my stance on the melee attack has stayed about the same. If anything, I've had even more bad experiences with being kicked since the first video. The last couple days of playing, every time I was killed via kick, I watched the kill cam, and sometimes it's just depressing. Like, a lot of times the kick will register from very far away, and in the kill cam you can see that they clearly don't even come close to making contact with you. It's just like Commando from Modern Warfare 2, but with a kick. Something that goes along with my frustration of kicks is the way that the gunfights work in Titanfall. Now, obviously, the game is much bigger than just pilot-on-pilot gunfights, but that's still something that will happen a bunch of times in every game. With all the special movements, jumps, parkour, all of that, it makes every gunfight so fast-paced and bouncy. For the most part, there's no setting yourself up like you can in other first-person shooters, where you work your way towards a spot with some cover and you then have a clear advantage in some gunfights. Even if you do find a spot like that, an enemy in front of you is only a jump and a wall ride and a little something else away from being right behind you and being able to snap your neck. And that's what I was saying about the kick, too, is that you'll be shooting right at a guy, but then, you know, he just kind of bounces off a wall, slides a little bit, comes up and kicks you from 10 feet away. So I guess I'm beating around the bush at this point, but it's hard to really explain what I mean with all this gunfight talk. I'm just not a big fan of the mass spray of bullets between two players as they're jumping around and jumping off walls while they're shooting at each other. I prefer encounters wherein you have the ability to play things tactically. You can predict where an enemy is going to come from and take them out when they come there. And you can do that, of course, to a certain extent in Titanfall, but a lot of times rather than being able to wait on an enemy, you just have to constantly be moving to maintain any type of a tactical advantage. And with how I just described that, it probably sounds to a lot of people like I'm just saying that I'm upset that you can't camp. But of course any good player knows that there are situations in which it's just smarter to slow things down and try to outsmart your opponent like that. But in Titanfall, it's just so much more beneficial to be moving, even if it's dumb movement. Now onto my biggest concern, and something that I can actually decently explain, and that's burn cards. Now if they work exactly how they did in the beta, I don't think that they'll be a problem. 3 per game with a limited number that you can have overall, and you get them by doing certain things in the game. I can definitely live with that, and that wouldn't be a problem at all. But this seems like a prime opportunity for EA to try to work in microtransactions. It makes too much sense, really. They have to have something planned out for that. Burn card pack, $1.99 for 5 burn cards. Buy our premium pack for $4.99, guaranteed to contain at least one uber-charged weapon, you know, something like that. And EA just always seems to be about finding new ways to make money off of their games. And selling packs of burn cards would be extremely similar to something they've been doing for a while now with their sports games via modes like Madden Ultimate Team, things like that. It's pay to win, pay to get ahead, pay for a competitive advantage, and unfortunately that's how I see the burn cards eventually playing out. It'll be beyond frustrating to get killed in a gunfight that you thought you had a clear advantage in, only to see that you were killed by some sort of rare weapon that can only be had by purchasing some sort of special pack. Hopefully they don't sell them, and hopefully it stays to 3 playable cards per game. Otherwise, I think burn cards could be a major turnoff. Now, I don't want this video to seem too negative. Like I said in the beginning, I had a lot of fun in the beta, and I'm definitely looking forward to the full release. I just wanted to put out a few things that I'm concerned about, maybe get some feedback on these potential issues. And while I don't think I'll ever get over the range of the kick melee, some of these other issues I've brought up might be things that I get used to over time. Coming from mostly a COD and Battlefield background, these jumping gunfights just aren't something that I'm used to, so maybe after a couple months of playing Titanfall, it'll be like second nature to me. And if I'm being completely honest, I didn't even like the burn card system the way that it is in the beta when I first started playing. But then I figured out some strategy with it and realized that you'll accumulate a ton of good cards, and I started to like it, and even I came up with some ideas as to how you could best use your 3 slots. So what I'm saying is, while I don't like some of these things now, maybe they are things that I will warm up to in the future. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think about some of these concerns, maybe list some other concerns that you have for the game. Anything like that you want to say, leave it down in the comments section below. And if you want to see more Titanfall content from me, go ahead and subscribe. I'm sure I will put out tons of videos when the game is released. And if you're subscribed, you will be notified every time that I post a new video, so that way you'll never miss one. And if you like this one, go ahead and hit the like button. That'll help me out and potentially make it so that more people will see this. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.